and gentlemen, is the countdown to apocalypse on hold? It's day 24 and war in West Asia has been put in suspended animation. 12 hours before President Trump's deadline to Iran ends, he's hit the pause button. Yesterday, he vowed to obliterate Iran's power plants. Today, he posted about very good and productive conversation for total resolution of hostilities. While 2,200 U.S. Marines on board ISS Tripoli head towards the Straits of Hormuz, President Trump says, I have postponed all strikes against the Iranian power plants for another 5 days. However, Iran, on its part, says there have been no talks with the U.S. and that Trump is buying time to de-escalate. There are no real winners in a war if you look at it from any other point of view. So far, 2,600 lives have perished and $1 trillion have been wiped out of stock markets across the world. But Trump's hint of truce and talks has brought a positive sentiment. Immediately, there was a drop in Brent crude oil prices and global markets were sent soaring. This is a vindication of India's stand that only talks and truce can end the bloodbath. Is a world ripped apart by missiles and drones? The land of Mahatma Gandhi has consistently appealed for peace. Even on the floor of the Lok Sabha today, Prime Minister Modi emphasized on the 3 Ds: dialogue, diplomacy, and diversification. Dialogue between the warring nations, diplomacy to safeguard Indians and Indian interests, and diversification to shore up India's power security. Listen in to Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
भारत डिप्लोमेसी के जरिए युद्ध के इस माहौल में भी भारतीय जहाजों के सुरक्षित आवागमन के लिए निरंतर प्रयास कर रहा है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, भारत हमेशा से ही मानवता के हित में और शांति के पक्ष में अपनी आवाज उठाता रहा है। मैं फिर कहूंगा कि बातचीत और कूटनीति ही इस समस्या का समाधान है। हम कोरोना के समय भी एकजुटता से ऐसी चुनौतियों का सामना कर चुके हैं। अब हमें फिर से उसी तरह तैयार रहने की आवश्यकता है। हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट में फंसे हमारे कई जहाज भारत आए भी हैं। भारत में बड़ी मात्रा में कच्चा तेल, गैस और फर्टिलाइजर जैसी अनेक जरूरी चीजें हॉर्मुज स्ट्रेट के रास्ते से आती हैं। आज भारत 41 देशों से एनर्जी इंपोर्ट करता है। सरकार अलग अलग देशों के सप्लायर्स के साथ भी लगातार संपर्क में है। हालात का फायदा उठाने वाले झूठ फैलाने का प्रयास करेंगे। ऐसे लोगों की कोशिशों को सफल नहीं होने देना है। मैं देश की सभी राज्य सरकारों से भी इस सदन के माध्यम से आग्रह करूंगा, ऐसे समय में कालाबाजारी करने वाले, जमाखोरी करने वाले एक्टिव हो जाते हैं।
So this is India's war plan to secure our energy reserve. But is it working? Sample this. In India, there is no hike in normal petrol prices, while premium petrol saw a marginal hike of 2 rupees per litre since the war started. Compare it to the rest of the world. United States has seen a 30% hike in petrol prices. In Germany, it's 18%. Japan has hiked petrol prices also by 18%. Sri Lanka has seen a 25% hike. While in our neighborhood in Pakistan, which is the worst state, prices have risen by 200% on premium petrol. Meanwhile, after President Trump's 5-day temporary ceasefire, there is a faint light at the end of the tunnel of doom and despair. Trump may be ready to lay down his arms, but the opposition is no mood to relent. Congress put out this poster saying, Saheb, Bibi Aur Ghulam. Saheb, Trump, Bibi, Netanyahu or Ghulam? Well, their own prime minister, our own prime minister, claiming that India has surrendered. Interestingly, while Prime Minister Modi assured the nation, leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi was not even present in the parliament. He was in Gujarat campaigning for local body polls. Watch this.
सुना है मैंने 25 मिनट का भाषण किया. मैं आपको गारंटी कह रहा हूं, लिख के रख लो, पार्लियामेंट हाउस में डिबेट नहीं कर सकते. कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो गए.
कुछ ज्यादा नई बात नहीं कही है, लेकिन हमने जो नोटिस दिया है डिस्कशन के लिए, वो डिस्कशन होना चाहिए ताकि हम भी जवाब दे पाए.
एडिशनल गैस कहां से लाएंगे? जो 2 जहाज आए जिनके बारे में बड़ा अपनी पीठ थपथपा रहे थे, वो कितने दिन की गैस थी उसमें? अब आप टेक्सास से ला रहे हैं साहब, कितने की आ रही है? ये सब जवाब तो देना पड़ेगा ना आपको.
थाली और ताली बजाने से तेल नहीं आएगा, गैस नहीं आएगा, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होगी. When in international market crude prices went down to up to 40% of what today it is, government never thought of reducing the price. So if because of crisis it goes up, government should own up and take care of it.
सब लोग भाजपाई जो हल्ला मचा रहे थे कि जहाज आ गया, घुस गया, हम भी चाहते हैं आए, भारत का नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए. ड्रामे क्यों करते हो तुम लोग? 2 जहाज आ गया, इतना हल्ला मचाया कि प्रधानमंत्री ने पूरी दुनिया हिला दी है.
आज जो महंगाई दिख रही है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपने लोगों को लाभ पहुंचाने के लिए उन्हें महंगा और भ्रष्टाचार करके महंगा करने दे रहा है. भ्रष्टाचार की वजह से और ज्यादा मुनाफा कमाने की वजह से आज महंगाई है.
But do the opposition's claims stand the scrutiny of facts? Here's a Newshour fact check. Rahul Gandhi claims our energy security is compromised. But the fact is that India has 53 lakh metric tons of petroleum reserves and we have imports from 41 nations. That's what Prime Minister said today. Akhilesh Yadav claimed that everyone is standing in long queues. The truth is that LPG production has increased by 38% since the start of the war, and now commercial LPG supply has increased by over 50%. Opposition claims that it's a failure model in foreign policy. Fact is that 3 Indian fuel ships have come back safely from the Gulf and 2 more are on the way. Also, deft diplomacy has ensured the return of 3,75,000 Indians safely back on Indian shores. While the Congress says that India has surrendered to Saheb Trump, fact is that Prime Minister Modi and the External Affairs Minister have repeatedly spoken to Iran and the other side, appealing for peace and dialogue. In fact, this is the post by the Iranian embassy which says, "We will never forget your kindness and humanity. Thank you, India." So Iran thanks India, but the opposition says India has sold out to America. Well, ladies and gentlemen, time for the Motorola legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Trump is set to surrender, but will Vipaksh in India do the same? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the Newshour debate on the show tonight, Shehzad Poonawalla, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow at the ORF, Suhail Seth, columnist, marketing guru. Also joining the debate is Vivek Silas in our studios, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Advocate Anmol Pawar, National Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. But my first question goes to Congress supporter Tehseen Poonawalla. And Tehseen Poonawalla, all this while you were demanding a statement from the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister has come out and spoken in Parliament today. A speech that was told to everybody in the Parliament, decided in the Business Advisory Committee. But alas, Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi wasn't quite present over there. Yet, the criticism continues. Posters of Saheb, Bibi Ghulam. There's a war going on out there. People are losing their lives. The entire world is in turmoil. आपको फिल्मी पोस्टर सूझ रहे?
Thank you, Navika. Thank you so much for having me on this show. Good evening to you, my fellow panelists, and to all the viewers. Three things. That the Honorable Prime Minister would speak in Parliament was decided this morning, not earlier. The Honorable Leader of Opposition's program was made earlier. If only the Prime Minister could be a little bit more giving and have made the statement, even to you in the media, that he would speak today. This happened this morning. That's the first part. So I think the criticism of the LOP is unfair. Second thing. What we as opposition wanted, yes, the Prime Minister to speak, but we also wanted a discussion, not a man ki baat, but a kaam ki baat. We have several questions to ask the government, and we are Team India. The way we are always put down, surrender, put down, it's not that we want India to lose. We want India to win. We're grateful that the Prime Minister spoke to the Iranian president and a few tankers have started coming in. This was something, it was on our advice that it was done. Why couldn't it have been done earlier? Why did Hardeep Puri ji fail on this? Let's come to the third thing. Facts and figures. The Honorable Prime Minister spoke about data, spoke about LPG production going up in India and crude oil reserves. Both of this is credit to the UPA. The domestic LPG production increased maximum during the UPA tenure, not during the NDA tenure. I have the numbers to take it, I won't go to that. And the crude oil reserve strategic program was not just conceptualized by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, it was built by him. Prime Minister Modi, of course, they inaugurated it 15, 16, 17, 18. What has he done in phase 2? The point is, now you're talking about diversification of your energy security. That's a great thing to 41 countries. You're doing it while this war is on. Who's prevented him from 12 years? Surely not the LOP, surely not anyone else. So when we ask questions, we are part of the team. We are not anti-team. The way the narrative is built.
Oh, you're part of the team. That is the biggest news point tonight. You are part of Team India is the biggest news point. Shehzad Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla says the Congress party is part of Team India with Prime Minister Modi. Have you ever felt like that before?
Navika ji, they should keep Team Congress together. Tharoor and Tiwari are saying that the foreign policy is absolutely correct, and Mr. Tehseen Poonawalla is saying he's with Team India. So removing shirt and going shirtless, topless, brainless, characterless in AI summit is being with Team India. You are not even with Team Indi, with Akhilesh Yadav. Then after that, when the COVID vaccine was being made, 2 Atmanirbhar vaccines, you spread the propaganda so that there's Afra Tafri. That was being with Team India. Operation Sindoor, the armed forces told you what we have done to Pakistan. Pakistan told you what they have been done and what happened in Pakistan. Despite that, you said Operation Sindoor is failure. Which of this is Team India? And first of all, you please keep Team Congress together. Having said that, Navika, look, today there is Dhurandhar Videsh Niti, but then there is Lyari Gang. This is Lyari Gang of Congress. Now this Lyari Gang of Congress, Tehseen Poonawalla Exhibit 1. Shivalik Nanda Devi is going to Jackson Port in USA. Suhail said, बताएंगे there is no Jackson Port in USA. वो आ गई, जग लाड़की भी आ गई, एक्वा टाइटन भी आ गई, जग वसंत भी आ रहा है, पाइन गैस भी आ रहा है. तहसीन पूनावाला Lyari Gang Part 2. Russian oil has been stopped. 15 lakh barrels being purchased even today. In fact, we have been continuously purchasing. And सोने पे सुहागा तो ये है कि एक्वा टाइटन was taking the Russian oil to China. It got diverted and came to India, and your reporter was covering from there. Lyari Gang 3. 2011 pick of shortage is being shown as 2026 pick. भाई इतनी डोमेस्टिक गैस की शॉर्टेज है, और यहाँ पे तो समाजवादी पार्टी के एक प्रवक्ता को गैस सिलेंडर 24 घंटे में मिला, मैंने कई बार बताया है. फिर उसके बाद फोर्थ, ईरान शिप वाज संक इन इंडियन वाटर्स. व्हाई वर दे सेइंग दिस? सो दैट ईरान के साथ रिश्ता खराब हो जाए, एंड दे सिंक ऑल आवर शिप्स इन स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज. एंड निकला क्या? ईरान एम्बेसडर सेज भारत हमारा बहुत अच्छा मित्र है. एंड देन आफ्टर दैट दे सेड पाकिस्तान इज गेटिंग रशियन ऑयल एट डिस्काउंट. अरे मूर्खों, रशियन ऑयल खरीद ही नहीं सकता पाकिस्तान, बिकॉज इट कांट रिफाइन इट. उनके पास टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है. दे कैन ओनली बाय द मिडिल ईस्ट ऑयल. फाइनली राम रसोई बंद हो गई. उसका भी मैंने आपको वीडियो के साथ बता दिया. राम रसोई में खाना मिल रहा है. अगर अखिलेश जी की आस्था है तो वो जाए और राम रसोई में खाए. और आखिरी बात बताना चाहता हूं. टुडे नाविका, तहसीन पूनावाला's Lyari Gang went to Karnataka High Court saying देखो कितना बड़ा शॉर्टेज है एलपीजी का. एंड द कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट थ्रू द पेटिशन आउट एंड सेड गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट थिंग. नाउ आई वांट टू आस्क तहसीन पूनावाला, ये साहेब बीबी और गुलाम का तो पता नहीं, बट यूएस पाकिस्तान चाइना को ऐसा सलाम किया. व्हाई डिड यू वोट अगेंस्ट ईरान इन 2005, 6, 8? Why did you stop buying Iranian oil in 2012? Why didn't you, if you had such great relations, ईरान से तभी तेल खरीद लेते. 2013 में पेट्रोल पंप पे ताला लगा देते. और यूएस के दबाव में ना न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट किया. 1974 में पॉलिसी आई. You know what was the policy? That please go for railway electrification. 40 years, not 1%.
They never debated. They never debated, never discussed, never did anything to take it forward. So Tehseen Poonawalla, what are you talking about?
Again, all of this is rhetoric. The BJP spokesperson will not answer. Today, at what rate are we getting Russian crude versus what we were getting? That's where please hold on. And why did we vote against Iran? We voted against Iran because a nuclear Iran is not in India's interest. A nuclear weapon Iran.
So when sanctioned Iran, India was not buying oil. तो आप किसको foreign policy सिखा रहे थे? Sushant Sareen, such a facetious argument being given by Teases Poonawalla that I don't even know what to say to him. Sushant Sareen, can you take a shot at trying to explain the realities of the world to Mr. Teases Poonawalla?
I can try, but I don't know if he'll accept the realities of the world.
Don't give up before you start, Sushant. Koshish karo.
No, Teases is a very dear friend, but even then, you know, in these kind of things, there are limitations to what one can do. It's like, you know, he talks about the price of Russian oil at which we are buying. Listen, we were getting a discount on Russian oil, which is normally sold at a discount, simply because Russian oil was sanctioned. And we were getting a discount at one point of time, and the discounts were becoming smaller and smaller. And right now, Russian oil in the international oil market is actually being sold at a premium. And the fact that we are still being able to get Russian oil simply because, and Shehzad is quite correct, we have the refining capacity. Not all refineries can refine Russian oil. So, you know, this is a completely fallacious argument that, you know, we were getting Russian oil at a discount, now we are not getting Russian oil. Is there any country which is getting Russian oil at a discount now? None whatsoever. This all nonsense about Pakistan being offered Russian oil at a discount. Please tell me one barrel of Russian oil which the Pakistanis have bought and which they can process. The second part of this entire argument is on the diversification. Look, yes, we have actually been buying oil from a number of countries. Maybe not 41. That we might have done at this point in time, but we were buying oil from a number of countries. Now, look, when you buy oil, you have to see whether you can refine a particular grade of crude or not, number one. Number two, from where will you get faster supplies and much cheaper freight rates? Now, when you have a global crisis of the sorts we have right now, we at least have the diplomatic heft and the economic heft to go to various other countries and pick up oil from there. Third, as of now, we don't have either a very serious gas shortage or any shortage of oil. But the prices have been kept constant right now because there is some fiscal space with the government. I don't know how long they can keep the prices constant because, look, we are not producing oil. We are not an oil producing country. We import oil and gas. If the price of oil and gas goes up internationally, the prices of oil and gas will have to go up in India unless you want the country to go bankrupt. So you will have to raise the price of oil and gas, or you will have to resort to the kind of, sleight of hand which the UPA did by issuing those oil bonds which kind of, loaded debt onto the oil marketing companies and onto the government, which is still being paid off right now. Now, either you do that, you take in all of that debt, perhaps off the balance sheet, but you will still have to pay. You are not going to get oil for free.
Absolutely. There is no free lunch anywhere.
Sorry?
I said everybody has to pick up the tab. Bills have to be paid. There is no free lunch.
Navika, if the price of oil which you were buying at, say, $70, $80 a barrel, if it goes up to $150, $170 a barrel, somebody has to pay for it. Now, who's going to pay for it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It has to be either through the government's balance sheet, subsidy burden, or consumers will have to pay. But the fact that we are being able to manage oil availability in itself is a Herculean task that the government is doing. But Vivek Silas, all that the opposition is doing is taking pot shots. Today, the Prime Minister has made a statement. Is it an easy time for anybody in the world? Certainly not. The whole world is going through turmoil, and I've shown you the prices in the other countries. From 9% to 200% is the rise of prices of petrol products in different countries. In the middle of all of this, India trying to get its ships, negotiations happening, Prime Minister speaking to both sides to calm down tempers and to bring about dialogue and conversation and some, some sort of peace in the region? Should the opposition only be poking their hands in the government's eyes, or should there be some constructive suggestion that should come in?
Actually, what I feel, Navika ji, after 24 days of war, ultimately the Prime Minister came to give a speech of 24 minutes. And it was very unimpressive. It was nothing that was very substantial into it, There is definitely what happened in 2019. If you see, we were buying oil from the Iranis. And they were taking the, we had to pay in the INR, that is the Indian currency. And they had already opened an account in United Commercial UCO Bank in India. It was, everything was fine. It was the pressure of the US.
Which year, sir?
2000, up till 2019, ma'am. But we were buying the Iranian oil. And after the pressure of US, we stopped it. Now today, what is happening, if you see, what Trump is saying, whatever Trump dictates, India has to listen, or India is listening, or the Prime Minister is listening. He said you will not buy oil from Iran. Okay, sir. India is a dead economy. Fine, sir. BRICS is dead. Okay, fine, sir. When people came from हाथों में हथकड़ी और पैरों में बेड़ी डाल के जब लाए, okay, fine, sir. जयशंकर ने कहा कि उन लोगों ने गलती की तो उनको तो भोगना ही पड़ेगा. That is what he said. Prime Minister said रूस से तेल ना खरीदो. Okay, sir. अब आप सीज फायर मैंने कराया, ठीक है सर. पाकिस्तान इज अ ग्रेट नेशन, बढ़िया सर. आईएसआई चीफ को बुलाया, कोई दिक्कत नहीं सर. आसिफ मुनीर को बुलाया, कोई दिक्कत नहीं सर. और पाक को यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल का चेयरमैन
सरकार
बनाया,
के समय
कोई
में
दिक्कत नहीं सर.
भी ईरान के खिलाफ बोले थे. आप तो उस सरकार में थे ना. ईरान के खिलाफ यूपीए सरकार ने यूएन में बोला था. क्यों बोला था भाई? तब आपको ऑयल की चिंता नहीं थी, तब आपका आईएनआर और यूको बैंक नहीं था. शहजाद पूनावाला, have they forgotten how the world has changed?
Vivek ji, and I have not disturbed you, so let me complete 20-30 seconds, then you come back.
5 seconds.
नहीं 20-30 मेरा समय है. There are two on-record statements of Hillary Clinton and John Kerry, both of whom were Secretary of State, sitting with the Foreign Minister of India that we have instructed India to stop buying the Iranian oil. And then the statement came, yes, we have also stopped buying. And they said, you are very good for not buying the Iranian oil. On-record press release के साथ है. पर सुन लीजिए दूसरी बात. Iranian oil आपने 30% immediately slash कर दिया. दूसरी बात. We have not stopped buying a single barrel from Russian oil. Donald Trump का president का swearing in हुआ. 30% buying. Oath के बाद उनका पहली बार he started putting tariffs. 30% we were buying. Then we have done Operation Sindoor. 30% we are buying. Then he put 50% tariff on us. We put 30% we are buying. And today we are buying 45%. This is last month's figures. The data is showing. And 15 lakh barrels are coming there per day. But having said that, I just want to ask you. He said ना जी सलाम करके कैसे 26/11 में तो सरकार को सपोर्ट आप कर रहे थे. किसका प्रेशर आया था 26/11 पे नो एक्शन लेने के लिए पाकिस्तान में? एंड सेकेंडली जब न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट करना था 90s में, तब यूएस का दबाव आया तो दे डिड नॉट डू द न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट. एंड जब वाजपेयी जी ने किया, सोनिया सेड व्हाई हैव यू डन द न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट? एंड देन आफ्टर दैट यू वुड नो दैट 2008-9 के बाद जो हमने न्यूक्लियर डील की जिसमें सपोर्ट किया, दे हैव पुट ऑल एंटायर सिविलियन न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर द इंस्पेक्शन. आस्क मिस्टर सुशांत सरीन, ये यूएस के पिट्ठू बनने का काम आपने किया.
यूएस का पिट्ठू कौन है आज?
ये मैं आपको बता रहा हूं.
विश्व जानता है.
पाकिस्तान पे क्या कार्रवाई?
पूरा विश्व जानता है
क्या कार्रवाई
का पिट्ठू का.
सुशांत सरीन
बात हम पे कर रहे हैं. चरणों में आप लेटे हुए हैं.
Mr. P. Chidambaram, and did he not write and say this in an interview that Condoleezza Rice had told the UPA government to not take any action against Pakistan after 26/11? Can you please remind our political panelists here from the opposition on that statement?
No, but what was worse was that we had the Indian Prime Minister talking to American senators asking for permission to attack Pakistan and to seek permission from Pakistan that can we attack them. I thought that was even worse.
तहसीन पूनावाला, याद आया? कुछ याद आया?
May I respond to this?
After Sushant finishes, I'll come to you. Sushant.
Oh, just very quickly, two issues that Vivek ji was talking about. You know, he is talking about that Pakistan was called by the Americans and everybody. Look, America has its own relations with Pakistan. So we were also calling the Iranian foreign minister, the Iranian national security advisor. We call the Russian president comes to India. If we can do it with countries which America calls its enemies, America can do it with countries India calls its enemies. That is how countries operate. Secondly, on this whole business that, we should stop buying, or we were forced to stop buying some oil from some country or the other. Look, we have all the right to buy the oil from wherever we want to. And a country like America has all the right to say that if you buy, then we will not buy your goods. Then we have to make a cost-benefit analysis. Do we not want to sell our goods in the American market, which will render thousands and millions of people unemployed in Tirupur, in Tamil Nadu and other places? Or can we do without oil from Iran for the foreseeable future and buy oil from somewhere else? We don't suffer that way. Now, that is a choice we have to make. That is a choice which the UPA government made when they stopped buying Iranian oil or reduced it drastically. That is a choice which the NDA government has made when they decided that they will cut down on oil from Iran, and then later on, just a couple of months back, oil from the Russians. We were still buying Russian oil. But that's a judgment call which a government has to make to protect the interests of Indians, people who are employed, people who are working, people who are exporting to the United States. Well, it's very easy to sit on a television studio and say whatever the hell you want to say.
Absolutely.
But this has real life consequences
Everything
for
is
people
a
of India.
cost-benefit analysis, but you buckled before, Tehseen, so stop giving sermons to the rest of the country.
Thank you, Navika, and thank you for the language continuously being used for the opposition, and we can understand it. But let me just make two very quick points, Navika. Number one, I agree with what Sushant said. Civilian governments, and thank God we're a civilian government, take in decisions in the best interests of the country. I agree with Sushant. So in 2008, the civilian government took a decision, 2009, not to attack Pakistan. You can debate it. 2001, in the 13th December Parliament attack, when we had Operation Parakram after that, where we had the highest number of Indian soldiers who became martyrs in not a war operation. There was that also a betrayal by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but that language will not be used for Vajpayee. Then it should not be used. No Prime Minister wants to betray India, but we understand what's going on. We are asking the Prime Minister to have a discussion.
Oh yes, no Prime Minister should be called that, but then who does Narendra surrender? Who does Saheb Bibi Ghulam? Teach from the pulpit when you begin to follow the lessons that you are giving the other. Then Suhail Seth, I want to ask you, very, very important for Tehseen Poonawalla to take the moral high ground. Why doesn't he practice what he preaches? What does the Saheb Bibi Ghulam poster actually tell you?
See, this is a conundrum which I'm trying to figure out. It's almost as cumbersome as Donald Trump's spelling. This poor Tehseen, he's not a member of the Congress party. He's not the official spokesperson. Yet every evening he has to come and defend the indefensible. So, we have to be a bit kind to him without being condescending. Because how much can Tehseen, with his level of intelligence, defend unintelligent policies, intellectual innocence of the worst kind? Every evening we subject Tehseen to an inquisition which is of an Italian nature, not even of a Spanish nature. And I feel sad for him. And I mean it as a friend, because no one should be subjected to this kind of inquisition when, he's Begani Shadi mein Tehseen Diwana, because he's not in the party, he's not out of the party, he's not Rahul Gandhi's spokesperson. Actually, no one is Rahul Gandhi's spokesperson. Yet every evening you guys plaster him with innuendos and silly questions. Here's the reality, and Tehseen will agree with me, because Tehseen, at the end of it all, is a human being with certain intellect. He's not like the Congress. There are three things that you'll always complain. All of us complain. Narendra Modi does not speak in Parliament. Today he speaks in Parliament. Now we have timer spokespersons. He's saying after 24 days he spoke for 24 minutes. The fact that you timed his speech means it was really precious. You only time things that are precious. अब 7 घंटे रह गए हैं मेरी शादी को, precious है, तो आपने time भी कर लिया. Number two, what did he say in his speech? That India has bucked the trend by being diplomatically neutral and agnostic to country policies or country, paranoia. Number three, all he said was that this is the time when India needs to be united. He has not asked for your head. He has not asked for your hand in marriage. He has not said that I must decimate the opposition using this as an excuse. With that also you'll have a problem. वो बोले तब problem, वो नहीं बोले तब problem. तो वो करे क्या? What should he say? He is the Prime Minister of India. He is not the party president of the Congress or the party president of the Samajwadi or even the very poor party president of the Aam Aadmi Party. He is the Prime Minister of India. He speaks on behalf of India. His diplomatic endeavors have to be statesmanlike. They can't be lawagiri. कि भाई जो मन में आया आप कह दो. Lawa is a Hindi word. No, I checked. After the last time, I checked. It's a Sanskritization. Ask Mr. Pant. Number 3. My problem here is, as Sushant rightly says, all countries evolve in their diplomatic processes. We were buying oil at a discount because that oil was available at a discount. Today, that oil is not available at that discount to any country in the world. For God's sake, count your blessings. Everyone, I said it on Navika's program on the day this happened. I still remember it was the 2nd of March. Where everyone said, oh, cylinders khatam ho gaye, cylinders khatam ho gaye. I said it is the Indian we who are to blame because we are hoarders by nature. If we need 1 cylinder, we will hoard 4. If we need to buy 1 cylinder, we will pay in black and buy 4 more.
True.
Today, there's no problem. My submission here is, let's be grateful for the blessings we have. To constantly abuse the process, to constantly find fault, we are becoming a country of whiners. हर चीज पे कलेश, हर चीज पे स्यापा, हर चीज पे, मुक्का मुक्की. Why can't we be happy? We have become the republic of rage. I don't see most people on television panels smiling anymore, other than the anchor, who's busy with the Motorola question of the day. कोई हंसता ही नहीं. सारे इतने गर्म है, सारे इतने गुस्से में रहते हैं. भाई थोड़ा हंसो. देखो अब तहसीन हंस रहे हैं.
Oil पे, the debate is on oil and oil is inflammable.
The debate is on oil.
Exactly, inflammable. यहाँ गुस्सा सबका है. पोस्टर छपवा रहे हैं लोग. Anmol Pawar ji, I want to ask you, when Iran is saying we thank India for its humanitarian support, the opposition is busy condemning the government.
Put a poster of Dhurandhar to poster be Saheb.
We'll go to that in the debate number 2. Hold on. Don't mix up the posters. Alag-alag filme hai. One is Saheb, Bibi Ghulam, the other is Dhurandhar. But Anmol Pawar, I want to ask you. On the day, the Prime Minister is giving you facts. He's telling us this is not a dream sequence in a film. This is reality where a war is taking place. Oil is a scarce commodity. Difficult to get oil from the Straits of Hormuz. Prices are skyrocketing. We have our reserves. We are trying to get oil from wherever we can. Russian oil imports have increased 1.2 million barrels per day last month, and before that now up to about 1.5 and 1.7 million barrels per day. We're doing everything we can. He also told us about how we are diversifying, electrification of railways, electric cars coming in. We'll have to think about all of this. And he said it was a difficult situation during COVID. We managed it. We don't have to panic. We will manage this as a country. We will come together. गलत क्या बोला? क्यों इसमें भी लोगों को दिक्कत हो रही है?
Navika ji, as Indians, we all are united in this hour of crisis, but the fact is that the government has miserably failed to deal with this crisis. No one can deny the fact that government was very well aware of the geopolitical situations, and after 24 days, the Prime Minister has addressed the nation while all the BJP spokespersons were lying on debate shows day in and day out. Earlier they used to say कि gas के दाम नहीं बढ़ेंगे, 60 रुपए LPG बढ़ गया. Then they used to say कि तेल के दाम नहीं बढ़ेंगे, 2.35 per litre on premium petrol and 22 rupees per litre on industrial diesel has been hiked. Then they used to say कि panic create कर रहा है opposition. They were the ones who were creating panic. Why are people standing in long queues outside LPG for LPG gas cylinders? अगर कोई समस्या नहीं है. Rupee is falling, it has touched all-time low, markets are crashing, and we can see that 2 people have died in the long queues. Agar situation samanya hai, then there are 2 points. Either people of the country don't trust them, that's why they are standing in long queues. Otherwise, the fact is that government was not prepared. Else this situation wouldn't have arisen.
Can I comment?
The Prime Minister of our country must have addressed the nation.
Now can I comment?
You are conceding to the Aam Aadmi Party.
No,
1 minute. Anmol Pawar ji, Shehzad Poonawala is conceding to you. Historic moment. Please respond.
धुरंधर भी 4 घंटे की थी, मेरा 4 मिनट का बयान होगा तो उसमें
4 मिनट नहीं है हमारे पास.
40 सेकंड होगा. देखिए, यूनाइटेड तो ऐसे थे.
30 सेकंड दे दीजिए.
हाँ ठीक है, आप ही तय कर लो. अच्छा पहले तो आप 20 सेकंड देकर वो रंधावा जी की पत्नी के बारे में कुछ बोलोगे? हाँ, वहां पे एक ऑफिसर ने सुसाइड कर लिया because your minister is so shameless that he threatened the young girl of that officer.
ये जवाब है.
And instead of arresting him, you are defending him. Leave it. Don't talk too much. पंजाब आपसे संभाला नहीं जा रहा और यहाँ पे देश संभालने की बात कर रहे हैं.
Let's come back to the topic.
United, 2 vaccines were made. 200 करोड़ टीके लग रहे थे. ये दलाली कर रहे थे फाइजर और मॉडर्ना की. First time a chief minister doing dalali for a foreign vaccine.
Well, these are strong words. You don't have.
I should listen.
तुम तो ट्रम्प की दलाली कर रहे हो.
This is not fair.
देश के प्रधानमंत्री ट्रम्प की दलाली कर रहे हैं. पता नहीं कौन सी नब्ज दबाई हुई है उनकी.
मैंने पूरी बात.
Language, my dear friends. Language, my dear friends. One at a time.
Don't interrupt me. Let me complete.
Most human beings have 2 ears and they can hear one person at a time. So, advocate Anmol Pawar.
ऑरिफिस से सिर्फ निकलता ही है, कुछ अंदर जाता नहीं है क्या ऑरिफिस में? चलिए मैं बात कर लेता हूं.
अनमोल जी मैं आऊंगी ना. I'll give you time to counter. Let him complete.
First of all, these people use terms like psychopath for the prime minister. He is going to teach me about language. और दलाली की. भारत की 2 आत्मनिर्भर वैक्सीन थी. 2 Moderna and Pfizer vaccines were not meant for India. They had bad repercussions. You wanted to sell those. What was the interest? I will ask you. You don't have the words to say. ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हो, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक हो, आप देश के साथ खड़े रहे. सवाल खड़े किया आपने सेना पर. आप देश के साथ खड़े हो. आप बोलते पैनिक नहीं. पैनिक के सिलेंडर कौन घर में स्टोर कर रहा है? 50-50 सिलेंडर. किसके कार्यकर्ता निकले? आप पैनिक नहीं क्रिएट कर रहे हो. टीवी पे आकर कहना कि सिलेंडर की शॉर्टेज डोमेस्टिक और फिर वहां पर जाकर दलाली करना और ब्लैक मार्केटिंग करना. और आखिरी बात, लास्ट पॉइंट, नाविका जी, वेरी रिच ऑफ दिस पर्सन टू कम ऑन टीवी व्हेन अ फैमिली हैज बीन डिस्ट्रॉयड बाय देयर मिनिस्टर एंड देयर इज अनदर एसडीएम हु सेड आई एम ऑन थ्रेट and they have nothing to say on it.
Anmol Pawar respond. Anmol Pawar respond.
Can I respond?
Yes sir.
Navika ji, बीजेपी स्पोक्सपर्सन सेड के धुरंधर विदेश नीति है. ये धुरंधर विदेश नीति नहीं है, सरेंडर विदेश नीति है. In the US trade deal, whether it's removing import from the cotton, whether it's signing death warrant of the farmers, whether it's not purchasing Russian oil or decreasing the purchase of Russian oil, which were buying at a discounted rate. And
well, there are no discounts going anywhere. There are no discounts. Please come back to the real world. Sohail said, 1 minute. Sohail, I'm running out of time, Shehzad. Let me moderate this debate. Sohail said wants to come.
And ask him the rate of Russian crude.
All
Today's rate.
Sohail said.
My limited point is, you saw Anmol's interjection. Ki PM has not done this, PM has not done this. Okay, imagine he hadn't done this. He's done it today, na? Tab to aap khush raho. You all are just becoming an unhappy opposition. It's almost as if your bitterness and your hatred for Narendra Modi has now transferred itself to the entire nation and what the nation stands for and should stand for, either united or... One minute, don't wag your finger. Don't wag your finger. I never wag fingers. It's rude, it's inept, it's intemperate. When you want to interject, just say interject. This is not a good sign. This was done by R.K. Lakshman when he wanted no dancing in public halls. Not by you, and he was a famous cartoonist.
All right.
Let me come back to this. My view, Mr. Panwar, is let us first recognize this war was not our war. It is not of our making. No one in the world recognized the geopolitical situation. Do you know, I'm in London. Europe is reeling under gasoline prices having increased, under energy prices. The whole world is in shambles. The fact that we are still having our heads above water is a tribute to every Indian.
Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head. We are in difficult times, and that's what the Prime Minister outlined today. But should we panic? Certainly not. Should we look at the situation and make a plan, a strategic plan on how to tide over these tough times. That's what the country should be doing, the government is doing. Well, we did a snap poll and we asked the question, Prime Minister Modi details India's power strategy. End game for opposition's fear formula? Well, close fight. The way people are stacked, the war is very, very confusing. Is Trump stopping the war, or is this just another blip with the other side saying no such conversations on? Well, we don't quite know. All we can do right now is a hope and a prayer that these hostilities come to conclusion and we move on to being a safe and promising world, safe for human beings and safe for businesses to prosper. That's what the world seeks. For now, can we also have ceasefire domestically so that we can live to fight another day of challenges that come our way? Well, itna sa khwab hai. Pura kar dijiye. Let's leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.